Guys, I was lucky enough to get a full version copy of this game to play, and after around 10 hours of playtime in it, I want to tell you exactly why I can confidently recommend this game, and actually explain what makes it worth your time. The game is called Solarpunk, and it's a survival and building game, set on floating islands in the sky. This is not the first time we have seen this setup, but how is it that these two guys managed to pull this concept off better than a massive studio? You begin this game in typical fashion on a small island with basically nothing, and work your way up from there. So you build a home base, grow food, start farming, set up an energy grid, automate your farming and resource gathering, and eventually hop in your own airship to explore other islands. The whole game has a very cozy and warm charm to it that actually frequently reminded me a lot of Dinkum, which of course is meant as a real compliment because I do love that game, and you get this high quality feeling from the get-go. The animations are slick and smooth, the performance is amazing, the graphics have this soft and beautiful quality to them, and the character movement feels fluid and natural. It just works. One of the first things you notice is how the game doesn't make you suffer through the early hours. The tutorial is low pressure and feels like it's showing you things naturally as you bump into them, not sitting you down for a lecture. Your character moves well right from the start. There's no painfully slow walking speed that makes you want to quit before the first hour is up. There's no carrying weight system either. Also no crafting queues. No waiting a real life minute for your axe to finish being made. You click craft and you get it. Small things, yes, but they add up fast. Now the early game does still have some real pressure though. You are constantly managing hunger and thirst, and if you run around too much without planting crops early, then you can absolutely run out of food before your plants grow back. Water is also a bit tricky to get at first, so the first couple days definitely have a real sense of scrambling to get your feet under you. Once you get a crafting table and research table and expand your crafting capabilities, then things open up fast. You begin unlocking proper tools and equipment, and everything starts snowballing from there. Your bed actually needs to be under a proper roof before you can sleep in it. This pushes you to build a real shelter rather than something half finished. The building system ends up being surprisingly deep too. I'm not the best builder myself, but I have seen what is possible here. The game has enough materials and decoration options that if you want to put the effort in, you can really build something that looks genuinely nice. Now farming in this game is central to everything. Early on you are watering all your crops by hand, which of course can get a bit tedious fast. Also there is one thing worth knowing before you go in. Cotton is surprisingly hard to come by at first. It takes a while to figure out the seed system and get your own cotton growing consistently. And since simply sleeping doesn't skip time the way it does in some games, you are sometimes sitting there waiting in real time for things to grow. But this phase eventually passes, especially once you get sprinklers connected to a generator. Then the watering problem basically goes away, and as you keep progressing, the automation gets more and more impressive. Drones go out and collect resources for you. Drills mine ore on their own. At some point your base is basically running itself, while you fly around exploring. Keep in mind though, this does not happen in the first few hours, so you have to work your way toward it. The whole energy system is probably the most interesting part, and also why the game is called Solarpunk. You string cables between your generator and your devices, and eventually you move everything over to solar and wind power. The weather also actually affects how much you produce, so a rainy day can mean your solar panels are barely doing anything. That's why the game has batteries to store energy. And there's also a weather station you can build, so you can actually plan ahead of it. It is all not super complicated to set up, which I appreciate, and it still feels purposeful. Animals live on the islands too, and the game is very clear that you're here to live alongside them, rather than use them up. Pigs, for example, will actually dig up truffles for you if you treat them well. And the bees on your island produces wax that has various usage scenarios. Your food comes entirely from crops rather than hunting. This all fits the feel of the game. The game does not have enemies at all either. Nothing attacks you, but fall damage is definitely a thing, and lightning can potentially damage your airship, but nothing is ever actively trying to hurt you. Now of course the airship is what ties everything together, quite literally too. You build one and use it to fly between islands. Before getting in for the first time I was honestly a little worried, because in similar games this kind of vehicle can feel like you need to memorize a wall of controls before you can even move. In this game it's much simpler. A few buttons and you're flying, and it still feels quick and responsive, not slow and floaty. You use this to visit other islands and trade with NPC characters, like this robot who wants watermelons in exchange for blueprints and equipment. It is also how you find resources that don't exist on your starting island, so you are forced forced to eventually explore. Your airship does have a range limit early on, and if you try to go too far, then you will literally get pushed back by strong winds. Upgrading your airship allows you to reach further islands. This is also one of the main long-term goals. So honestly, besides the fact that some things are not properly explained in the beginning, for example that you can use these empty iron spots to get more iron, which I only found out by accident after looking around for more iron for 45 minutes, I can't really voice any clear negatives here, because my subjective experience was very positive here. After 10 hours, this is genuinely a good game, and I am nowhere finished. The progression makes sense and the building is satisfying. The best part is getting to a point where your base starts handling most things on its own, which you will genuinely look forward to reaching. If you like survival games more focused on building something real, and with the kind of cozy dinkum charm that makes you want to keep playing, then I can confidently say this is worth your time. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.